12 years. That's how long Megan and I have been married. And out on the road, with miles of blacktop stretched ahead, and nothing but diesel hum and my own damn thoughts to keep me company, that number started to feel heavier than it used to. 12 years of being her man, her provider, her rock. I ain't a complicated guy. Never have been. I drive long hauls. I come home with calloused hands and dirty boots. I don't write poetry, and I sure as hell don't win hearts with candlelight, dinners, and wine glasses. But I've always come home, always shown up. It was a Tuesday morning, somewhere outside Amarillo, when the idea hit me. I was stopped for fuel and coffee. Real coffee. Not that truck stop sludge they lie to you about. And I saw a couple in the parking lot, probably half our age, laughing over something stupid on a phone screen. That's when it hit me. Megan's phone had been acting up. Battery didn't hold charge, kept freezing on her. I'd heard her complain about it once or twice, nothing major, but it stuck with me. So I figured, screw it. Maybe it's time to do something nice. Not flowers or jewelry or any of that soft stuff. Something useful, practical. A new phone. The kind with good storage, better camera. I even had the idea to swing by the store myself, get everything set up for her, back up the old stuff, cloud sync it, make sure she didn't lose a damn thing. Little things. That's how you keep it solid. That's what I thought. So I stopped by a Verizon in Tulsa before heading home. Explained to the guy what I wanted, made sure it was all backed up, transferred, and logged into the same cloud. Told him to keep her same number, same settings. Easy. By the time I pulled into our driveway the next morning, the sun hadn't even finished waking up. Truck tires crunching the gravel was the only sound around. Our little house sat quiet. Lights, still off, curtains pulled. I walked inside with the box in my hand like a prize, thinking maybe, just maybe, this would be one of those rare mornings where she smiled like she used to. She was in the kitchen already, cup of coffee half drunk, robe tied loose around her waist. She looked up when I walked in. Not startled, not happy, just looked. Like I was an unexpected delivery from the wrong address. "Hey," she said. That was it. Just hey. Not your home. Not God, I missed you. Just a flat, dull hey. I held up the box. Got you something. She blinked. What is it? A new phone, I said, smiling a little. Yours was starting to act like a toaster. She reached out and took it. You didn't have to do that. I nodded. I know. I wanted to. She peeled back the lid, looked inside like it was a pack of socks instead of a $600 gift. Thanks, she said, setting it down without even turning it on. That's when I felt it, not a punch. I stood there for a second, still wearing my flannel and boots, and just watched her sip coffee like I hadn't been gone a week, like I hadn't spent my off hours thinking about how to put a smile on her face, like I didn't exist past utility. We didn't talk much that morning. I showered, unpacked, laid down for a few hours before the next run. She had errands to run, she said. Gym, groceries. By noon, the phone was gone from the counter. She hadn't even asked about the cloud sync, and I, like a dumb jerk, still believed she loved me. They say the road gives you time to think. That's true. But it also gives you too much time to remember, and worse, to imagine. It was a Thursday evening, about 4 days after I gave Megan the phone. I was parked at a rest stop just outside Wichita, cab lights off, curtain pulled back, legs stretched out across the seat while I listened to an old Merle Haggard playlist. The phone was synced to my truck's system through Bluetooth, and I was messing around with the cloud account, our shared one, trying to upload some playlists for the next leg of the haul. It was routine, mindless. Something to pass the time before sleep. But when I opened the file manager, I saw a new folder. Hadn't noticed that one before. And under it, a list of audio files, timestamps, dates, a few with simple names. One stood out right away. late-night practice. I figured maybe she was trying to record something for work. A speech? A voicemail? I don't know. Megan used to be shy about her voice, always re-recorded messages 2 or 3 times. I tapped the file. And that's when my world split wide open. At first, it was just her voice. "Hey, baby, are you still thinking about me?" I froze. That wasn't, for me, not even close. "I've been thinking about your hands all day, about that night in the truck, the way you grabbed my hips when I hit pause." My heart wasn't racing. It wasn't even beating hard. It was cold. I felt like I was watching someone else's life unravel through the windshield. Like I'd just driven off a cliff, but hadn't felt the impact yet. But I needed to know. I scrolled down. Another file, titled Rehearsal 2, Lower Voice. This one started normally enough. She was trying to sound intimate, but a little awkward, like she wasn't used to it. Then the sound shifted. Muffled movement, like she was setting the phone down without stopping the recording. Then another voice came through. Male. "Are you sure you turned it off?" Her voice again. "Yeah, it's done. Just practice anyway." "Good. Are you coming over tomorrow night or not? Depends if the caveman's home." They both laughed. Like it was a joke. Like I was a joke. Then came the line that burned itself into my skull. "Don't worry, he's too dumb to notice. He thinks I'm going to the gym." That was it. That was when everything flipped. I didn't rage, didn't scream, didn't throw my phone against the dash, though God knows I wanted to. Instead, I copied the files into a private folder, renamed them, backed them up, twice, then once more for good measure. Because now I know. It wasn't a suspicion. It wasn't a maybe. It was real. The woman I kissed every Sunday before I hit the road, the one who told me she missed me, said she couldn't sleep without my pillow beside her. She was screwing some smooth-talking bastard while calling me a caveman. And the worst part? I never even saw it coming. I didn't call her. Didn't ask for an explanation. No texts, no questions. Because now it wasn't about her anymore. It was about me. My pride. My name. My goddamn backbone. She thought she was clever. She thought I was too simple, too loyal, too trusting to ever look under the hood. She forgot that I've spent most of my life behind the wheel, watching the miles tick by, learning how to read signs before anyone else can even see them. And I just found the first one. The road ahead was long, but now I wasn't just driving. I was hunting. You learn real fast on the road. Rage will wreck you quicker than any storm. So I didn't rage. I planned. I set the wheel straight and let my mind go to work. When I finally rolled back into town, it was 2 days before our anniversary. She didn't expect me till the weekend, which gave me time. I parked the rig at the yard and took my pickup home. Walked through the door like nothing was wrong. Megan was in the kitchen, pretending to stir something that didn't need stirring. She looked up, surprised, then quickly smoothed her face into a smile. She was always good at adjusting the mask. "You're early," she said, setting the spoon down. "Surprise?" I replied, tossing my bag by the door. "Thought we could do something special. You know, for the anniversary." She blinked, then gave me a small smile. "Oh, yeah, that'd be nice." Right there. That hesitation. That was all I needed to know. 12 years of marriage, and she sounded like I'd just offered to repaint the garage. No warmth, no spark, no guilt either. I smiled back. That same smile I used to give when some jerk cut me off on the interstate. Calm, tight, dangerous if you looked too long. I was thinking, "We never really had a celebration last year," I said, cracking open a beer. "Maybe we throw a little something this time. A belated surprise. Just family, friends, a few people from the yard. Old school. She raised an eyebrow. You want a party? Hell yeah, I said, chuckling like it was just another casual idea. I'll handle it. Rent the VFW hall down off Marshall Street. Cheap. Good parking. They still got that big speaker set up too. Megan looked unsure for a second, like her wheels were turning. She thought she had the upper hand, but this sudden enthusiasm from me, it made her cautious. I took a long sip of beer, watching her over the rim of the bottle. You don't want a party? No, she said quickly. No, it's fine. Just unexpected. But it sounds nice. Good, I said, finishing the drink. Let's make it happen. The next 2 days were all about prep. I made some calls, invited her parents, my sister, her best friend Tina, who always had too much to say and not enough sense to shut up. I even called old Bobby from Dispatch and a couple of the guys from the shop who liked to drink and pretend they had manners. Said it was a surprise for Megan, so don't make a fuss about it. They all bit. Meanwhile, I tested the PA system at the hall. The Bluetooth worked like a charm, crystal clear. I stood in the empty room, turned the lights off, and hit play on one of the voice memos that IT gave me chills, not the intimacy kind. The kind you get before a tornado hits. I hit stop. No glitches, no skipping. She was going to hear herself in surround sound. Back at home, I acted the part. Cooked dinner. Rubbed her feet like I used to. Asked how work was. She talked a little more than usual, like the guilt was forcing her to pretend we still had something worth saving. Like she was trying to balance both lives, hoping I stayed dumb. She didn't notice I wasn't kissing her. She didn't notice my hand didn't linger when it used to. She didn't notice me, and that was the biggest tell of all. I could see the shift in her. She thought I was trying. She thought I was reinvested. She thought she'd gotten away with it. And every time she smiled like she had control, I smiled, back harder. I even kissed her forehead before bed, told her I was lucky to have her. She giggled and rolled over, probably texting that bastard 5 minutes later. But none of it mattered, because I had a front row seat to her downfall. And she'd RSVP'd to her own execution. The night air smelled like stale beer, fried chicken, and cheap cologne, exactly what you'd expect from a gathering at the Marshall Street VFW. The parking lot was packed. Trucks lined up like proud beasts. Country music hummed from someone's open window. Inside, the lights were bright, the folding chairs were metal, and the kind of small-town chatter that only comes with folks who've known each other for decades filled the room. And in the middle of it all stood my wife. Megan, smiling, laughing, performing. She wore that navy dress she always claimed was too much for small events. But I guess she wanted to remind everyone how much attention she used to get. Her makeup was perfect. Her laugh exaggerated, and every time she caught someone looking, she tilted her head like a damn actress fishing for compliments. She didn't know she was the star of tonight's real show. Hell, she didn't even know the curtain was rising. The food had been served, drinks poured, friends buzzed and bloated. Her parents were seated dead center, Mr. and Mrs. Hollow Morality, themselves. Her mother wore that judgmental little smile she always gave me, the one that said you'll never really be good enough for her. Guess she'd finally be right about something. Tina was already drunk, halfway through her second glass of wine, talking too loud about Megan's glow, said married life must be agreeing with her. I nearly choked on my beer. Megan leaned into me at one point, whispering in my ear, "You've really outdone yourself tonight." I kissed her cheek. "You deserve it, babe." I could feel her relax. Let her guard down just a little more. Perfect. An hour later, with everyone fat, fed, and buzzed, I stepped up to the mic. The room hushed quicker than I expected. That's the thing about small towns. People know when something's coming. I tapped the mic once and gave them the most genuine smile I could fake. "Hey, everybody. Really appreciate y'all being here tonight. Megan and I, we've been through a lot together. 12 years. That's a long time to be with anyone, let alone someone who still manages to surprise you. A few laughs, some nods. Megan beamed beside me, her hand wrapped gently around my arm like she had any right. But tonight, I continued, instead of doing some long speech about marriage and endurance and all that crap y'all don't want to hear, I figured I'd just let Megan speak for herself. She tilted her head, confused. What do you mean? I reached into my pocket and pulled out my phone. See, I got real still, my voice quieter now. Megan left me something real special not too long ago. A few sweet recordings she made just for a special someone. They meant a lot to me, so I figured, hell, why not share? She laughed awkwardly, unsure. Todd, what are you? But I'd already hit play. Her voice filled the room. Hey, baby, you thinking about me? Laughter stopped. I've been thinking about your hands all day. The way you grabbed my hips when... Gasps. Tina's wine glass slipped and shattered on the floor. A distant, "What the hell?" echoed from the back corner. Someone coughed to fill the silence. Megan's face, drained white. She reached out toward me, whispering, "Turn it off." "Todd, please." I raised a hand, not to stop her, but to cue the second file. This one started with the same seductive voice, but ended differently. Male voice, "You sure you turned it off?" Her voice, "Yeah, it's done. Just practice anyway." Him, "Are you coming over tomorrow night?" Her, "Depends if the caveman's home." The room erupted, not in yelling, not in chaos. Silence. True, suffocating. God help us, silence. That's worse than any shouting match. It means people are ashamed for you. I turned back to her. She looked like a ghost in that navy dress. Mascara cracking. Lipstick faded. She tried to speak, but the words didn't come. I pulled the envelope from my coat pocket and handed it to her. Divorce papers, sealed and signed. "Happy anniversary," I said flatly. She opened her mouth, but I spoke first. "You lied to me. You played me. And you laughed about it. Now the whole town knows the woman I married isn't the woman I came home to." Her hands were shaking. "Todd, please, this. It didn't mean anything," she whispered. "Funny," I said, turning to face the crowd. Didn't sound like nothing. Then I tipped my hat to her parents. Mr. and Mrs. Holloway, always a pleasure. And I walked. Didn't run. Didn't yell. I walked, straight out the door, into the night. Let her drown in the wreckage she built. You'd think a man would feel empty after dropping the hammer like that, after gutting 12 years of his life in front of everyone he ever knew. When I stepped out of that VFW hall, I didn't go home. Didn't want to see the shell of our house or the photos still hanging on the wall like they meant something. I went straight to the truck yard, climbed back into my cab, fired her up, and felt the low hum of that diesel engine settle into my bones. She always hated that about me, how fast I could disappear into the highway. But this time, I wasn't running. I was leaving. The interstate stretched out ahead, a ribbon of silver under a black sky. A few hours passed before I even realized the radio was off. Just me, the rumble of tires, and the silence I didn't know I needed. Somewhere around mile marker 212, I pulled off at a quiet truck stop, grabbed a coffee. Black, no sugar, just how I like it. Sat on the hood of my rig and looked up at the stars. You see a lot of things on the road: accidents, sunsets, late-night drunk stumbling out of diners. But what you rarely see is clarity. That night, I had it. I thought about all the little moments I had mistaken for love, the routines, the small gestures, the silence I filled with trust, because I believed she wouldn't lie to me, not her. But love without honesty is just noise. And I'd been driving with the radio on static for too damn long. I pulled my phone out. There were messages, of course. Missed calls, voicemails from her. The first one started with a sob. By the third, she was angry. By the sixth, she was begging again. I scrolled to her contact, held my thumb over it for a second, then hit delete. Her name vanished. Just a blank space where a piece of my life used to sit. And just like that, the tether was cut. I climbed back in the cab, set the GPS toward Wyoming. No reason, just somewhere else. Somewhere clean. Somewhere untouched by her perfume, her lies, her damn voicemails whispering sweet filth into someone else's ear. As the truck rumbled to life, I reached for the radio again, scanned through static until a song hit. Something old, something bluesy, rough around the edges, just like me. The first lyrics kicked in, something about letting go, about roads that don't circle back. Fitting. I turned it up and let it ride. This wasn't a victory lap. I didn't win anything, but I sure as hell didn't lose. What I did was reclaim something. My name, my dignity. And as those headlights cut through the dark, mile after mile falling behind me, I finally felt it. Not revenge, not rage, freedom, a new life. No lies, no Megan, just me, the open road, and the man she never thought would wake up.